Hi, my name is Neelan, and I am going to be hopefully um, giving you a lecture on gathering data in mass and extracting and transforming and loading data. My actual This is not actually going to the technical details, but I'm going to be describing some situations in which making good decisions will save you lots of money, lots of time, and um not just for you, but for everyone involved. So, as you probably already know, the power of good decisions can make a big task into a small one, and that's what I'm trying to do with this. Okay, so here are the problems. This is the seventh time I'm making this video because in all cases of trying to make this video before, something has gone wrong. Either the sound didn't record, um, the recorder crashed, I said something in the actual video I didn't like, so I redid it. I left out some information, so yeah, I hope you get a lot out of this because I can't believe I've done it 7 times. Okay, so sometimes you need data that doesn't exist, or you need to pull it from a source that doesn't make it easily available. These are the problems. How do you get it? Sometimes you need data from another system. How do you get it? The reason why I'm going to be focusing on the first question is because I believe that the first question is the one that will get you the most benefit with regards to the second question, because making good decisions with regards to how you get data will actually reduce the workload for all parties involved with that data later on. So here's some considerations and problems that are encountered, and things that will be helped by taking what I'm going to say into consideration. One, you're going to exponentially reduce the amount of post-processing work by the consumers of the data. You're going to exponentially reduce the workload of the people giving you the data. You can bring to a minimum the passbacks, confusion, and bad data, and it'll speed up development time, report development time, ETL development time, and meetings involved with handling the issues that exist. Let me check and see if I'm going to run out of hard drive space. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so here's some example situations in which this might have relevance. When you have a data science department, a lot of times data science departments and report developers are dealing with the data, and if you have issues with the data, someone's going to handle it. So if you're gathering information from multiple people, departments, companies, or vendors, this comes into play. If you're collecting information from websites that don't make that data readily available or consumable, this will help you. If you're gathering data from sensors and other data, this might apply to you. Or if you're trying to just get data from another system, which basically is number two, but phrased in another way. But I made this, so I made that into another number, so whatever. So, okay. So, approaches to collecting data. So there are programs that could actually log into FTPs, HTTP websites, HTTPS websites, telnet systems, as well as other systems. Sometimes in order to get access to a significantly complex system data, you might have to log into a mainframe, and within that mainframe you'll have to perform give it a set of instructions, which curl simply might not be capable of doing simply. So you can make a C# program, for example, that will log in to that mainframe much like curl does, get that information, put in the appropriate sources, um, and then get the data that is returned, or download the files that usually have people um, downloading, and in the process do everything a person would do. C# is capable of this, as well as other libraries, I mean programming languages. You just gotta think about it in that way. So any system that has a person involved can have their job automated, as long as you're willing to code that little application, and then you could have a job agent fire it off periodically with error logs. That way, the workload is reduced. You can have executable file dumps, in which if you're getting data through a program, you can dump it into a txt file and load it. Or if you are getting data from a streaming executable, the output to that program, or even from a application, you can have that read in using C# or any other language, and you could parse through it automatically and then load it into a database for consumption by whatever service you want it consumed by. Websites, although I mentioned using curl and custom application builds in order to pull data, you can use web forms in order to obtain data. I do not recommend using applications, Excel forms, or anything other than a website in order to gather data. The reason why is because as time progresses, you're going to have different versions of those information gathering sources, and you'll have to do some sort of coordination. So you can actually have entire processes set up around making sure everyone is using the appropriate program, or the appropriate Excel file, or the appropriate input method, but with a web form and having a central portal of obtaining that data, you will have the ability to harden inputs and actually reduce workload over the long term. APIs. Although APIs aren't necessary in order to obtain data from a source, you can use APIs if they exist in order to pull data. Use what you got, but you don't have to use what you got, because if the APIs don't give you what you got and the website does, or the application does, you can go directly to the source. Where this might break is if they change things, because over time things will get changed. You can use DLLs in order to access functionality that isn't made readily available by integrating that DLL into your program. A DLL from another source like SQL Server Management Studios, or Redgate, or Windows, or any program. They have a ton of these, and oftentimes they expose functionality through them, and people seldom use them. If you have a program that is accessing data and you don't know how they're doing it, use a decompiler and you could probably figure it out. You can load data from files, often done, or you could use database data pulls. Yeah, so anything that's done by a person could be done by a computer. Good to know, good to learn. By keeping these things in consideration, you can automate a lot of the things that require people intervention and other stuff. Just take it into consideration, reduce your workload, make your life easier for everybody, And yeah, that is all for now. I hope you learned something. Uh, Till next time. Bye.